It was supposed to be one of those unforgettable pop culture moments. Beyoncé on stage at the 2011 MTV VMAs, glowing like the sun, unbuttoning her sparkly jacket, and cradling a growing belly. The crowd lost it. Jay-Z beamed like a proud dad in the front row, and the internet exploded with headlines about the royal baby of music. But then, just as quickly as that moment became legend, something strange happened. A few weeks later, an awkward clip aired on an Australian talk show. Grainy footage, nothing dramatic, except for one bizarre second where Beyoncé's baby bump appeared to fold as she sat down. Not shift, not adjust, fold. Was it a weird camera angle, a trick of fabric? Maybe. But that moment never fully disappeared. It lived on in conspiracy corners and Reddit threads, never gaining enough traction to matter until now. Enter Ramir Satterwhite, or as he introduced himself to the world, Jay-Z's real son. Out of nowhere, he steps forward, not just with wild claims of being abandoned, but with an even bigger twist, suggesting that Blue Ivy, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughter, might not be Beyoncé's biological child at all. Suddenly, that old folding bump clip didn't feel like internet junk food anymore. It started looking like Exhibit A in a much darker, more complicated story. And it's not just Ramir talking. In the same storm of headlines, a woman claiming to be a former nanny for the Carters also stepped forward. Her account? That she helped care for Blue Ivy as a newborn, but never once saw Beyoncé pregnant. Not once. Not even toward the end. That's the kind of detail that makes your brain pause, whether you believe her or not. Because it's one thing for a stranger on TikTok to throw out theories, but a nanny, someone who says they were inside the house? That's different. Now, let's be real. Celebrities using surrogates isn't a scandal. Plenty of famous couples go that route for personal, medical, or logistical reasons. But what makes this hit differently is the performance of it all. The VMA moment, the perfectly timed paparazzi shots, the interviews where Beyoncé talked about cravings and baby kicks. If this really was a surrogacy situation, then why the theater? And if it wasn't, why are there NDAs floating around and people suddenly popping up to say otherwise? Ramir isn't backing down either. He's not just claiming the Carters kept him in the shadows. He's suggesting a full-blown cover-up, one that rewrote the family narrative from the beginning. In his words, it's not about money, it's about truth. But truth in this world is slippery. His motives are being questioned just as much as his story. Is he bitter? Is he broke? Is he telling the truth? Or is this one big attempt to poke holes in the armor of music's most protected empire? And the thing is, Beyoncé and Jay-Z aren't just rich and famous, they're strategic. Every photo, every public appearance, every crumb of family life they allow into the world is curated with surgical precision. So, the second cracks appear, the public starts zooming in. That old folding bump clip resurfaces on Twitter. Blue Ivy's baby photos get reanalyzed like crime scene evidence. Suddenly, the Carter family isn't a flawless dynasty. It's a mystery novel with pages missing, and people are scrambling to fill in the blanks. All of this has come at a time when the Carter brand is already under pressure. Legal issues, quiet feuds, rising scrutiny. It's not just one storm, it's a brewing hurricane. And Ramir's accusations? They might be the flash of lightning that finally forces people to ask, what is the truth behind the perfect image we've been fed all these years? The timing couldn't be more suspicious. Just as the Carter dynasty was already juggling lawsuits, fractured business relationships, and whispers of former allies turning into enemies, Ramir's story hit the internet like a well-aimed grenade. Some people called it a desperate cry for attention. Others said he was playing a dangerous game, going after entertainment's most powerful couple. But one thing was clear. He didn't seem scared. He spoke with the kind of unbothered frustration you hear from someone who's been ignored for too long and has nothing left to lose. Then came the bomb no one expected, a resurfaced quote from an alleged insider who worked closely with the Carters during their early years of parenthood. This person didn't just echo the nanny story. They claimed there were entire sections of the house that were sealed off, guarded, and off-limits even to most staff. Rooms where only select people were allowed. Deliveries that came through private entrances. Moments where Beyoncé would disappear for hours, emerging in full glam but never visibly pregnant. To some, it sounded like standard celebrity privacy. But when stacked against the growing pile of inconsistencies, it started to look like choreography. There's a term people use in Hollywood: image architecture. It's the idea that every detail, what you wear, what you say, what you share, is a brick in the fortress of your public persona. Beyoncé's fortress was built like the Louvre: solid, flawless, no cracks allowed. But in a world obsessed with digging, even the best blueprints have weak spots. Blue Ivy has been the face of that architecture since day one. She wasn't just a child, she was a brand. From award show appearances to album credits to luxury campaigns, she became a symbol of generational greatness. Fans saw her as a reflection of Beyoncé and Jay-Z's love story, their power, their legacy. So to suggest that her very existence might be part of a hidden arrangement, that's not just controversial, it's nuclear. And then there's the missing twins theory. The kind of thing you'd expect to hear in the back alleys of the internet, not on mainstream platforms. But here it is, people claiming Jay-Z fathered another set of twins years ago, before the fame, before Beyoncé. Allegedly, these children were never acknowledged publicly and are tied to airtight NDAs, secret trusts, and a trail of carefully buried breadcrumbs. The theory says their mother was paid off to keep silent, their names erased from official stories, and their connection to the Carter family cut clean. It sounds insane, until you remember how airtight the Carters run their empire. There are no slip-ups, no accidental leaks. If there were other children out there, is it really that hard to believe they could be hidden in plain sight,